Hi NC Kids 5 through 12, welcome to January and Happy New Year. So I want to just bring a few things to your attention for this month. In Pro Presenter, you have a Live Out Loud video the first week of every month. And then also we are starting a salvation message video quarterly. So 4 times a year, you're going to have an 8-minute long salvation message video. And this is gonna be for all kids, 5 through 12. We're not separating any out. And so I just encourage you, if you're not serving on week 1, to go watch that video. It's just gonna give you an overall picture of the salvation message that we're sending to the kids and that we're wanting to preach on a weekly basis. So with that, also week 2 tithe video. So for January, our theme this month is knowledge. And the scripture is the Lord gives wisdom, knowledge and understanding come from his mouth. And that is Proverbs 2:6. So let's get into our activities. The first activity for week 1 is show what you know. So what you're gonna do is A, B, C, D with masking tape or paper in all 4 corners of your room. And then you're gonna simply ask a question and read the answers, and then wherever they think is the correct answer, that's the corner they're gonna go to. And so you just repeat that for 11 times. And also just encourage you to make sure that y'all watch for bullying. We don't want kids to get bullied if they don't get the right answer. So if you see that taking place, just kind of snip it in the butt. Kind of encouraging words to everyone. Right? Okay, for activity 2, it is memory verse hopscotch. And so you're gonna take note cards and write 1 word per scripture, 1 word on 1 note card until the whole scripture is done. And then you place it in a hopscotch form, so 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. And then a kid is going to need a beanbag or something heavy to throw. The kid stands at the beginning, throws the beanbag, whatever it lands on, they turn that word upside down so you can no longer see it, and then say the scripture. Second kid, throw the beanbag, turn that word upside down, say the scripture. So by the end, they're just saying the scripture and memorizing. It's a good memory tool in a fun way. And they don't even know they're memorizing. And then activity 3 is discussion questions. And then we still have our Bible, if I can turn the page, we still have our Bible story outline. And then on week 1, you have the gospel presentation printed, but we will not verbally preach that and watch the video. So for week 1, you are just doing that salvation video. Okay, for week 2, what did Jesus say and do? You're gonna break the kids into 4 groups. And so you have 4 images here and enough for 4 groups. And then you have scriptures on the bottom. If you have kids that can actually look up the scripture with the Bible, do that. If not, have the scripture written on the back of these, just in case they cannot do that. But then kids are going to look at the picture, hear the scripture, and then you have to write 2 words on a whiteboard. And that is, what did Jesus say or do in this verse? And then, what does this tell me about God? And so look at the picture, read the scripture, ask the 2 questions. And then also in here, it has a make it personal moment where it's just tell the kids about how knowing Jesus helped you know God. So that can be your salvation story. It can be how knowing Jesus changed your character. So becoming more like Jesus by reading the word and doing things like that. So any type of testimony for that make it personal moment. And then your activity 2, excuse me, you'll need a pool noodle or something long. The kids are gonna circle up. They're gonna have 1 person in the center, and then they're going to say the memory verse with their eyes closed, but in a circle. Wherever they land, they point to. The kid is gonna say the scripture. And if your room knows each other well, that kid in the center can guess who said the verse by their voice. If your kids do not know each other well and it's a large ministry, a large room with large numbers, then just have that kid come to the come to the middle, say the scripture, and as they rotate, the next person. So that way it still works and they're saying the scripture. And then 3 is activity questions, discussion questions. Y'all know what I mean, right? Okay, week 3. So, scripture sheets on the wall. You have scriptures here that I just printed for you, your scripture and what they mean. And then you also have scenarios in your service flow. So you're just gonna read a scenario. My dad did this, and I lied to go outside to play. So what scripture would teach me not to do that? So they're just gonna go to the scripture that fits the scenario. And then you're going to read 1 Corinthians 10:13, which talks about how no temptation can overtake you. And then you have a few little questions here that are really just gonna give that mental picture of how we can overcome temptation. And then for activity 2, it's gonna be Bible Jeopardy. So you have this little sheet, which gives you categories, numbers of points, 3 categories, and then your points. So a kid is going to break into teams, 2 teams, and then you're gonna have somebody say, oh, I want, what did the devil say for 600? And so you're gonna lift that up, ask the question. If they get it right, they get 600 points. If they get it wrong, they get negative 600. The next person comes up and say, ooh, I wanna pick an easy one. I'm gonna go Jesus in the desert for 200. Read the question. If they get it right, they get the points. If they don't, they get them subtracted. So that'll be fun. And then discussion questions. For week 4, this is gonna be really fun and interesting. So we're gonna have toothpicks. You're gonna break up into 4 teams. And this is a strategy game, a thinking game, team working game. So you're gonna give them a first scenario. First scenario is make 3 squares out of 10 toothpicks. And so don't show them this, but this is what they're gonna do. This is gonna be the outcome. And then you give them a different direction that's gonna each have different things, and then they just have to, as a team, come up with the correct way to do it, which will be fun. And then for your activity 2, red and blue sticky notes. Divide your group 2 teams. You're gonna give them both a red sticky note and a blue sticky note, or whichever colors I gave you. And then it's true or false. So you're gonna read a statement. If they think it's true, they hold up the true color with their eyes closed so that they don't just say, hold up their card based on what their neighbor did. So you can have them all close their eyes and then hold up the card if it's true. So say the first one, John was sent to prepare the way for Jesus. That is true. So everybody's gonna have their eyes closed. They're gonna lift their hand if it's true. So you need a team member who's gonna count all the hands that are true, and then a team member that's gonna count the other team, all that's true. And so whoever gets the questions right, they get the points on the board. And as you go throughout all the questions, one of your teams will win. And then you have activity questions, discussion questions. And so that's it for the month of January. I appreciate what y'all do. If y'all have any suggestions or questions or anything, or don't understand anything, or something maybe isn't right on ProPresenter, or if there's anything that I can do for you to make serving in NC Kids easier, just let me know.